for the greatest rivalry in the history of baseball, the Cardinals and the Cubs. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball. Take me out with the crowd. I need some peanuts and clouds. I don't care if I will ever get back to that damn road. For the Cardinals. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. And the old ball game.
You go back in history in Sportsman's Park, then it was Busch Stadium, the next ballpark, at least the drawings of the new ballpark. The plans have been improved, and we look forward to the opening of this park sometime before 2006. You can make your own guess. And we welcome you to Cardinal Baseball, Game 2 of a 4-game set, the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck, along with my partner Al Roboski, with a lot of help from the Wrigley Field organist. Jack Buck got through Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and here we talk about baseball. First, we talk about baseball parks. I think everybody involved with the Cardinals has to be excited about the new ballpark. I think the bigger point is people who are born and raised in St. Louis, like myself, have to be excited about the ballpark village, which to me is as attractive, if not the most attractive part of the whole plan.
That's it. That is the whole thing about the whole concept that makes perfect sense in a revitalization and adding a lot more services to the downtown area, bringing in additional tax revenue, and really making St. Louis a 21st century city once again.
Well, good point. Let's talk about this ballpark. And this ballpark has been a little unkind to the Chicago Cubs, losers of 12 in a row now here to the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's tough to pinpoint when two teams get together. One team dominates at a certain park. Why? But let's enjoy it while it lasts.
Absolutely, and of course this is a very good ball club that the Cubs have. They're in first place for a reason. But we're starting to get some timely hitting again. We pitched very well against these guys, and it should be a great contest, which it always is for the fans when the Cardinals and Cubs get together.
You saw that last swing, a home run by Jim Edmonds last night, an opposite field poke. He picks it up. McGuire hits a home run. J.D. Drew, they're going to miss him, but those two guys, they have to do more of that.
Yeah, but I think that's the key point. You know, Edmonds had been hurt. He just basically replaces J.D. Drew, and Jimmy knows that he has to start living up to his expectations, and I'm sure he will.
Well, that is part one of our two-part segment before this game between the Cardinals and the Cubs. It is hot, hot, hot in downtown St. Louis. It's game 2 of this set. We'll talk more about it when we come back on Fox Sports Net. We welcome you back to Busch Stadium. Minutes before the start of this game, Matt Morris on your left will start for the Cardinals. Jason Beret, the right-hander for the Cubs, on your right. That's the pitching matchup. And tonight's Chrysler Jeep pitching matchup features these two. Jason Beret, who has a record of 4-3.
You see Jason Beret came off a serious elbow surgery in '96. Bounced around for several different clubs, but he's found a home here, as well as Matt Morris. He loves it here.
You see what he did his last time out at Wrigley. Got into the 7th inning with a no-hitter. Here's Mike Matheny about the start tonight.
Well, I think he does need to look past last time against these guys and realize that there's things he needs to do a little bit different later in the game. We need to maybe use it as a learning experience. We realize that there's some things we can use, but he needs to kind of get past it and realize that tonight, if he comes with this good stuff, that he's got the ability to shut him down and finish out the game better than he did last time.
Matt Morris had a no-hitter for 6 2/3 innings. He settled for a no decision and a Cardinal loss 4-3. All 3 runs end up scoring with 2 outs.
So let's see if he can finish those innings, if he can finish the innings and get through the ball game. It's Matt Morris tonight. taking on Sammy Sosa and the first place Chicago Cubs. Mac went deep last night. Baseball when we come back. Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Budweiser. With a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. By Pennzoil, protection under the toughest conditions. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, for tires and complete auto service, all you need is Dobbs. And by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom, 30 years, one mission, low fares. In tonight's game, we're participating in the Cap Cure Home Run Challenge, where every home run hit raises $40,000 from your pledges for prostate cancer research. There have been 133 home runs hit so far, raising the total to over $5.3 million. If you would like to make a pledge, please call 1-800-547-CURE, C-U-R-E. Don Baylor, manager of the first place Cubs, 5 games up on the Cardinals, put pen to paper and came up with tonight's Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Here's the way it looks. Eric Young will lead it off. Then it's Ricky Gutierrez batting second. Sammy Sosa's hitting third. Ron Coomer moved into the cleanup spot. Matt Stairs a late scratch. Rondell White's in left. Miguel Cairo's in third. Gary Matthews Jr. in center. Joe Girardi the catcher. And Jason Beret pitching and batting ninth. And here's the Cardinal right-hander, Matt Morris.
Yeah, well, Matt's got to forget about that last outing against the Cubs. He's pitching tonight against them. He's just take up the same lead that Kyle did. Just go after these guys. And when you go after them, you just continue the reputation. Winners pitch inside, and Matt Morris is a winner.
Let's go around the horn, and it's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Backing up Matt Morris tonight defensively. Same lineup as last night. Mark McGuire is at first base. Fernando Vina, 3-hit night last night at second. Polanco's over at third. The shortstop is Edgar Renteria. Out of the outfield from left to right, it's Ray Langford. It's Jim Edmonds. And it's Albert Pujols. The catcher tonight, Mike Matheny. For the most part this season, Barrero's worked with Morris. Matheny was behind the plate when Morris worked back at Wrigley, and so he's in there again as Eric Young steps in, and we're ready for baseball. And a strike on the inside corner. 7-12, so a little late with the start tonight, and that allows us to get all of our stuff out of the way. Young, Gutierrez, Sosa. And that's into right. Easy for Pujols. To his left, leadoff man is gone. Didn't come with an extra step for Pujols, who had to reach for it down to his left. I think he thought it was going to carry a little better. 1 out.
And of course, coming off the bat of a right-hander, it drifts on him a little bit into the corner, but bottom line is he makes the play, and good start for Pujols and the Redbirds.
So Morris will deal with Gutierrez, who had homered in 3 consecutive games prior to last night when he was 0 for 4. Good career numbers for Morris against the Cubs. Good ERA of 3.5. And a strike on the inside corner to Gutierrez, and so far he has worked on the inside part of the plate. 0-1.
Well, if you can work inside and get early strikes, all the better.
Another one in on the hands of the shortstop Gutierrez, off the toe of Matheny, and that's strike 2.
Nobody wants to try and make a living with that. You got a bat that's 31, 33 inches long, and they want to hit it out on the sweet part, not out on the fist.
Here's a 0-2 to Gutierrez. Fastball. Goodness.
But you also saw Mike Matheny, after he received that ball, he just kind of threw his glove out at Matt Morris, saying, hey, just you keep on giving me that pitch right there, we'll be all right.
Curveball, grounded foul. And a good play by Julio Zuleta. I can't believe that Zuleta doesn't get into the lineup more often.
Need Serrano?
Yeah. Here's a 1-2. McGuire, Morris, 2 out.
Joe is referring to is the young player Zuleta, already three pinch hit home runs this season, including a grand slam, the most recent off of Alan Dennis.
They call him Serrano because he has a little voodoo action working down in the dugout where he builds a little shrine and he touches bats and he does whatever he wants to do, and the Cubs are believing in it and they're in first place, so let them have their fun. Right?
Right. We did that after they had that 8-game losing streak. Not bad. You can withstand an 8-game losing streak if you go off and have a 12-game winning streak right behind it.
They've won 13 straight at home, 20 of their last 26 overall. That's foul, and it's 1-1 on Sosa, who homered last night and has 21 on the year. 89 degrees, 45% humidity, and that's where you're going to get tricked. Wind out of the west at 12 miles per hour. One and two. What does the forecast look like? 80% chance of rain. Am I reading that right?
Yes. Understand that there's the potential that once the rains come that it could last for 24 hours.
Wow. 24 hours. That's almost a whole day. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Sosa.
And with the accuracy of most weather reporters, don't even bring an umbrella.
I'm telling you. You're playing with fire when you start making fun of them. I've run into that trouble. 2-2. Full count. Last 12 games here at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals have won all 12 and they've outscored the Cubs by plenty. Last night a 6-2 win. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Sosa, and a shot to left center. Got a chance to go. It's off the base of the wall. Sosa, I think, thought it was gone, but he'll cruise into second with a double anyway, and it's a 2-out double for Sosa as that thing just got out to the track and died.
They had a lot of topspin on that ball and got out there and just kind of submarined on the as it went up against the wall. Ball out, it was down, but it was out over the plate, and he got his arms extended. Wasn't quite the typical Sosa coming out of the batter's box, his little hop and jump.
It was a mini hop.
Yeah, it was a mini. He wasn't totally convinced.
So it's a double no matter if he runs hard or not, and he's at second with 2 out for Coomer, who takes a ball. Matt Morris gives up the double, but the ball stays in the park, so he can still pitch a scoreless first inning. Cardinals will take on Beret in the bottom of the inning. And we're going there now. Vina, top of the first history. Double by Sosa. Nothing after that. The Cubs strand their first of the night. Sammy gave it a ride, but it died out on the track. And after a half inning in St. Louis, no score. Top of the first inning is history. Bottom of the first, and Tony La Russa surveys the scene. And here's his Southwest Airlines starting lineup. Fernando Vina leads off. Polanco batting second. Last 10 days, just under 400. Edmonds, McGuire, Pujols backing up Big Mac. Langford, Renteria, Matheny, and Morris. On the mound for the Cubs, right-hander Jason Beret.
He tries to establish his fastball on both sides of the plate. The off-speed pitch, and he has a couple different varieties, or his out pitch. But if you're patient, you don't go up there swinging at the first 1 or 2. He usually will give you something in that at bat to hit. Most pitchers do also.
So Vina first up, a 3-hit night last night, a .296 average now. He raised his average 5 points. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A little sweep. And Polanco and Edmonds will follow. There are the numbers for Vina. Trying to get it going. He led off last night with a hit. And he takes one in on him for ball 1. Jason Beret first came up with the White Sox in '93. Was a 12-game winner. I mean, he just burst onto the big league scene. But he suffered arm trouble. He's worked his way back. He's been with both Cincinnati and Milwaukee as he misses with ball 2. Cleveland for a short while last year, part of that big trade with the Brewers, between the Brewers and the Indians, and now his first go around with the Cubs.
12 and 10 last year, but combined between those two teams.
Signed a 2-year deal, and he's 3-0 on the Cardinal leadoff hitter. So Vina will take a strike. Can't promise you many things tonight, but I can promise that. 3-1.
What's your next promise?
I think he'll take again.
He may.
He may.
Might take one for the team if it's inside.
He did take again, and it's a full count. Now I predict that if it's a strike or a hittable pitch, I bet he swings. How about that?
Pretty good. Pretty good. And with the ball, hopefully he takes it.
And he spoils one. It stays 3-2. We will, in the second inning, be joined by Chip Carey and Dave Otto, the Cub announcers, in the second inning.
They want some more, huh?
Boots.
They want some more of this stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
When you make magic once, they want it again. 3-2. Good start. 4 out of 6 in this series is Vina, and the Cardinals have their first base runner. Let's go around the horn for the Cubs. It's brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. Ron Coomer at first base. He was supposed to start at third, but Stairs is hurt. Eric Young at second. Miguel Cairo's over at third. The shortstop is Ricky Gutierrez. And now out to the outfield, Rondell White. He's having a great season. He's in left. In center, Gary Matthews Jr. made a spectacular catch in last night's game. And Sosa's in right. The catcher is Girardi. They have put Todd Hundley on the disabled list with a bad back. On the mound, it's Jason Beret. Here is Polanco with 1 on, nobody out. Placido with that last 10 games hitting .394 has his overall average up to .329. And a check on Vina.
Polanco, Edmonds, and McGuire have had good success against Beret. Polanco 3 for 6.
Pretty close. Vina back in time. Big hole on the right side of the infield. Polanco likes to go that way anyway. If he drives the gap in left center, Vina will score easily. As you can see, the outfielders in the distance there, they are swung way around to the right. Vina started and stopped his ball 1, drops low to Polanco.
Polanco again has got a good comprehension of what he wants to do up there, what the opponents are trying to do to him. He can inside out a ball to right. He can take that pitch away from him and stroke it to right. Or he can try and turn on a ball and hit it into left.
If he does that, there's plenty of room out there. 1 ball, no strikes. Double play ball. Gutierrez, Young, Coomer, 6-4-3. Tried to pull it. Base is empty with Edmonds coming up. Cardinals and Cubs at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are 4-0, at Wrigley 0-3. Look at the difference in the hitting. Look at the difference in the home runs. Cardinals hit 1 home run at Wrigley in the 3 games set there earlier this season. And in the run department, 3 times as many here at home.
Times you go to Chicago and early in the season it's so cold and the wind blowing in that it's hard to drive the ball out, but that wasn't the case.
Here's Edmonds now with the bases empty, 2 out. So in 2 of the most hitter-friendly parks this season, Wrigley Field and Coors Field, the Cardinals did not hit at all in a combined 9 games so far. 6 out in Denver, except for that Saturday game, the last time out, and 3 in Wrigley. One ball, 1 strike with McGuire on deck. Edmonds went the opposite way for his 10th home run of the season here last night. He got Felix Heredia, the left-hander, as he took the trip around the bases. 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Who's the home plate umpire tonight, Joe? It's Bill Welke with Mike Fichter at first. It's the second different pronunciation I've given that guy. Chuck Merriweather at second, and John Hirschbeck is over at third. 2-2, and Edmonds had a similar swing on this pitch. Up and out of the park the opposite way to put the Cardinals up 6-2, and that's how they won it.
Jim's last 2 home runs have come against the Cubs last night, and then one back on June the 7th. There's his career number against Beret, even better.
Checked his swing. 3-2.
Edmonds against Beret, 321, 9 for 28 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs.
Oh. Wow.
Giving you
You're
the
not
facts.
lying.
The facts. Nothing but the facts.
3 balls, 2 strikes. And Edmonds will add that bruise to his list.
Around his ankle.
Edmonds still with 2 dismal months back to back. Had that tremendous April. He's hitting .281. The numbers aren't bad. 10 home runs, 34 RBIs. It's just been a frustrating 6+ weeks for him. Breaking ball had him frozen. What a good pitch on 3-2, and Edmonds could not pull the trigger. A leadoff hit, a double play ball followed, and after 1 here in St. Louis, Morris and Beret, no score.
Well, we're back in St. Louis. Beautiful night in Busch Stadium. Dave Otto, Chip Carey, pleased to be joined by the voices of the Cardinals on television. Joe Buck and Al Roboski. Gentlemen, good to see you again.
Hello, guys. Great to see you, even though we can't see you.
That's probably for the best.
Might be. Might be. I like how you differentiate voices of the Cardinals on television. You and I, Chip, know better than to call the television announcers the voices of that particular team.
That's exactly right. Big difference. Otherwise, you get in a whole lot of trouble. Make those radio guys mad.
That's right.
Never a good idea.
Hey, hell hath no fury like Pat Hughes scorned.
That's exactly right. Rondell White leads things off here in the second inning of a scoreless game. Fellas, first things first, congratulations on the new ballpark. That's got to be exciting for the fans here in town, huh?
Very much so. Congratulations on your new 2,300 seats.
Yeah. You know, it's big news. Broken bat down the left field line, and Rondell White continues his torrid pace. He hesitates. Now he's going to try in the throw-off line, a stand-up double. Rondell White, his 4th hit of this series. Joe, I said a few moments ago before we joined you guys that I don't know if they're going to sell the naming rights to the stadium here, but if in some way, shape, or form they don't do something to honor your dad for all the wonderful years he has been at the microphone here in St. Louis, there's no justice.
Well, they've got his bust down in front of the ballpark. I think he's considered that as good enough at this point.
Well, I know he has, but just as a fan of his work and
well, I would agree. You're preaching to the choir here.
Here's Miguel Cairo, tries to bunt, and it's rolled foul for a strike. Cairo got the start tonight for the Cubs when Matt Stairs came up lame. He was involved in a collision at first base in Chicago in the 9th inning of one of those games against the Twins. Took a shot to the ribs, so Stairs feeling some discomfort today. They put Cairo at third, sent Coomer over to first, and Stairs able to pinch hit tonight. And this is something the Cubs do a lot of. They play a lot of little baseball, and Cairo gets the sacrifice down. White to third with 1 man out. And guys, if the Cubs are going to beat the Cardinals in this series, they're going to have to do the little things that they didn't do last night.
Exactly. We saw EY last night with the error down the right field line, and the Cubs playing little ball, moving runners along. 53rd sacrifice bunt for the Cubs in this early season, leading the National League.
I'm surprised he was bunting, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a leadoff double. It's the 2nd inning. I'll pay you both everything I got if this turns into a 1-0 game.
Well, you may want to save that money. I know you're on the hook for a couple $100 million in that new ballpark.
That's right. By the way, the ball was not played well by Langford to start this inning. I mean, we didn't really talk much about that as the infield is in here for Matthews Jr. But Dave, you know, and Al, you know, it doesn't matter what throw you make. As an outfielder, the way you go to the ball, turn, and get ready to throw is going to hold the runner at first. And Rondell White had stopped, but he saw the way Langford was casual about turning around, and he turned it into a double.
Exactly, and Langford did a good job, however, following his glove, turning the proper way, but Rondell White got a good read on that. Thanks also to Billy Williams, because he was in his ear as he was rounding first.
Cubs need a hit from Matthews. 2 quick strikes to him. White at third. Oh, boy, last night, that strike 3, the way Kyle was throwing, I can't believe Morris hasn't gotten that call. He's thrown 2 pitches tonight that Bill Welke, I think, has missed.
And Bill Welke now is a little upset with Matt Morris.
That's a strike.
That is a very good pitch right there. And Dave, you know, pitchers should have the right to question, well, was it inside? Was it low? Was it high? Why did you not call it a strike?
Exactly, and you know, I think umpires have to understand that you're going to get emotional on that mound.
Matthews goes fishing, 2 out.
How's that bunt look?
Well, he's at third with 2 outs. He would have been at second with 2 outs.
Unless Cairo gets a hit.
All right, Morris throws against us. That's a little tough.
We'll move on.
Good fastball out there. Chip, Dave, I think you guys, even though Matthews strikes out here, you probably really have enjoyed watching him mature and getting playing time and get better as a major league player.
And he's really been in the lineup early on, fellas, because of his defense, along with his ability to run. And you know, we haven't seen the Matthews that he's going to get some bags. I mean, he can flat out run. The problem is he's so lanky that sometimes it takes a while for him to get going that first couple steps as far as stealing bases. And once he figures that out, as far as reading pitchers and just gaining that experience, working with EY on reading pitchers, he's going to be a heck of a base stealer. And we've seen him from the left side really start to trust his hands. And we saw Morris throw that nasty fastball away, but overall, when he just trusts his hands and throws them, pretty good hitter from the left side.
Girardi walked intentionally with 2 outs, and that brings up Ray looking for his first run batted in this season. Cardinal fans may not realize it, but Jason Beret and Julian Tavares have really solidified the back end of this Cub rotation. Last year, they had players like Scott Downs, Dan Serafini, Ruben Quevedo,
Jamie Arnold,
Jerry Spradlin, who's now with the Cardinals, Micah Bowie throwing in the 4 and 5 spots in the rotation. This year, Beret and Tavares have been outstanding. Broken bat right to third. Cubs get a double and nothing else. Leave 2 stranded. We go to the bottom half. Still scoreless at Muggy Busch Stadium.
Well, this game gets to the bottom of the second. There is no score. The Cubs wasted a leadoff double in the second inning. Joe Buck and Al Hrabosky on your right. Chip Carey and Dave Otto on your left. They're disappearing. It's Tim Garcia in the middle, by the way, our stage manager. And here in the second, it'll be McGuire, Pujols, and Langford against Beret. Chip and Dave, there's no doubt. You were talking about the pitching, Chip. Every day, you all have a chance to win, whether it's Kerry Wood, who's in a great groove right now. He's really pitching well. Beret, I guess, is at the back end of your rotation, but he's got an above 500 record in his career against the Cardinals. And Tapani has been fantastic. Right on down the line, Lieber is a very underrated pitcher. You all are centered around your starting pitching, and Dave, you and I were talking about that bullpen, which has really been good for Don Baylor this season.
I think the big key really is that bullpen, Joe. Last year, the Cubs blew 29 saves. And you think back to the last time the Cubs made the playoffs, that was 1998 when Rod Beck had more than 50 saves for the Cubs. This year the Cubs have 2 guys that can close in Facero and in Flash Gordon. You've got Kyle Farnsworth, who throws the ball 100 miles an hour with command now. So the bullpen really is the strength of this pitching staff, I think.
McGuire leads it off and checks his swing, grounds it to the only guy standing on the right side of the infield. That's Ron Coomer, and that's out number 1. So give Beret credit, Al, for coming inside on McGuire.
Gentlemen, we have seen with Mark trying to get his timing back, more pitchers coming inside on him than ever before. And it was amazing in '98, both McGuire and Sosa how many pitchers threw to their strengths by keeping the ball away from them.
Is there a player on your team that's been affected more by the so-called high strike than Mark McGwire?
You would think both McGwire and Langford. They're both very good low ball hitters. I think Langford's been affected by it more than McGwire.
The thing that I've seen from McGwire over the years, fellas, and you've seen him obviously more than I have, but McGwire will make that adjustment to that inside fastball. He'll start cheating on that pitch, and if a guy continues to pound him in there, look out.
Very good point, because we've seen that in the past with, say, Rob Nen, Billy Wagner, guys that throw the ball as hard as anybody in the game, that all of a sudden he'll say, okay, I'm going to look for a pitch even up and in and turn on.
2-0 pitch here, and it's low. 3 balls, no strikes. Dave, you saw the ball that McGwire hit out last night. That pitch, that's one of the few times you'll see him take a pitch above the belt, drive it out of the park. And last night he adjusted, went up and got it, and that was the biggest swing of the night as Pujols takes a 4-pitch walk.
And in talking with Kevin Tapney, you know, that was a pitch that obviously Kevin wants back, and really trying to crowd him up and in, and unfortunately for the Cubs last night, that pitch just got a little too much of the plate, and Mac was able to get that extension. Boy, he is just lightning quick, even inside. Fellas, I'm sure you've seen it over the last 2 weeks now, where Mac starting to get a swing down.
No doubt. Here is Langford, and let's see how the Cubs and Jason Beret try to attack Langford. If it is at the belt or upstairs, 1 on, 1 out, big hole on the right side of the infield. That ball's down. That ball's hit well. Sosa back off the wall. Pujols will round third and come to the plate. The throw by Young too late, and the Cardinals take the lead. You throw him down, and he is deadly.
Albert Pujols is not speedy by any means, but Oquendo, the Cardinals' third base coach, is extremely aggressive. And the one fact that there was a little juggling out there in the outfield. You do Ray Langford a favor. When you throw the ball down, he will crush it. Now you're going to see the difference of why they got the run across. That little bobble right there allowed Oquendo to make that decision with only 1 out to go ahead and take the chance, send him home, and really without a play.
Now it's Renteria with a runner at second. That's Langford. Ray drives in his 33rd of the year. 1 out. Edgar Renteria hitting .230, and not much of a swing there on the first pitch from Beret. You guys go back home after this series, after this 4-game set?
We do. We go home, play the Brewers 3-game series, then the Mets, and then we head out for our longest trip of the year. 4 in Cincinnati, then to New York over the 4th of July break. Then we play the Tigers at Comerica Park, and then it's the All-Star game.
A little flare into right. Sosa coming to get it. Renteria flies to Sammy Sosa. And now it's a runner at second, 2 out for Matheny. Talk about a low ball hitter, and no doubt that pitch to Ray Langford, which produced the first run of the night, was a low delivery.
Not only low, but down and in the inner half of the plate. That is just a dream pitch for Ray Langford right now. One of the biggest difference too, Ray's left knee, surgically repaired a couple years ago, is solid now, so he has a foundation underneath him. He's able to drive the ball much better.
The Cardinals, in a similar situation, elected to walk the light-hitting Girardi and pitch to Beret. The Cubs are at least initially going to go after Matheny, who fouls one down the right side for strike 1, with Langford the runner at second and 2 out. We've got 2 catchers in this game, both hitting in the low 200s. Girardi at .213 and Matheny at .212. The production numbers: Mike has 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Girardi 1 homer and 9 RBIs.
And Joe's going to get the bulk of the playing time for the Cubs, at least for the next couple of weeks. Todd Hundley placed on the disabled list after the game last night with some lower back problems.
That's slashed foul on the count 0-2.
And the Cubs also called up Robert Machado from the minor leagues. Robert played last year with the Seattle Mariners organization. Had a real good spring for the Cubs, but really had no chance to make the team with Hundley and Girardi on the opening day roster.
Well, as Marrero, he has caught Morris a few times, has he not?
He has. He was bothered by a thumb injury when the Cardinals were at Wrigley last, and I think the Cardinals were impressed with how Matheny handled Morris when he pitched that 6 2/3 no-hit effort, although he didn't finish strong. I think they liked the way he attacked the Cubs in that game. And Al, I think if he's not at the top of the list, he's near the top. Tony La Russa is a manager who really puts a lot into what a catcher does with a specific pitcher. And so he's going to stay with Matheny, I think, until proven otherwise.
I think that's Dave Duncan's choice.
The 0-2. 1-2 from Beret.
And Tony and Dunk are probably tougher on their catchers, more so than any other position. They know how demanding it is. They know the responsibility of the catcher. And they think Matheny is he is truly an extension of the coaching staff, and he works so hard to get into the heads of the pitchers, and it usually pays off for him.
That's pretty well hit to center. Matthews back to get it. And that'll end the inning. The Cardinals get the lead. Chip, Dave, thanks for your time, guys. We enjoyed it.
Same here, Joe. Take care.
All right, this game goes into the third inning. Ray Langford put St. Louis on top with that double to right center. Matt Morris goes back to work, up by a run. A 1-0 Cardinal lead into the top of the third inning. Nothing like an ice cream sandwich on a day like this. It is warm tonight. This date in Cardinal history brought to you by Schnucks. June 19th of '96, Ozzie Smith announced his retirement. This is his 2,500th hit, and when you start stacking up his hits, you really realize how good of a hitter he made himself, and that he was much, much more than just an all-glove, no-bat player. He really, I mean, his 2,500 hits, that is quite an accomplishment.
Very much so, and you touched on it too. He turned himself into a good hitter. A lot of hard work with many different hitting instructors, but give Ozzie an awful lot of credit for doing the hard work, the little work, the behind-the-scenes stuff. He got himself physically stronger.
0-1 on Eric Young. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Young, his first time, flied out to right field. It was handled by Pujols, so he's 0 for 1, hitting .264. Hit his 6th home run of the season here last night. That is hammered foul. Wow.
You see, Matt Morris pitches so far inside that you get people conscious of it, and the only thing you do is pull it. Home games, National League leaders in ERA. Matt third best.
On the Casino Queen leaderboard, and a broken back ground ball to Vina. 1 away, and Young is 0 for 2. So the Casino Queen leaderboard shows you what Matt Morris has done ERA-wise here at home. We showed you last night what the Cardinals as a team have done here at home as opposed to on the road. And the two records, what a contrast. The Cardinals as a home team are 23-11. As a road team, 7 games under 500, 14-21. 2 up. 2 down. That'll bring in Sammy Sosa, who doubled off the wall in left center his first time up. And we give you pitch tracks from that first at bat.
You know, a lot of times we'll say that if you're up there long enough, you'll get a pitch to hit. There was pitch number 1. Outside, inside, back away. Then way inside off the plate. Another one out there. And then finally he got an inner half and he hits a double.
Our friends at Oral Health, America's national spit tobacco education program, would like to remind you that smokeless does not mean harmless. 2 out, nobody on, and that should end the inning if it stays in play. McGuire, plenty of room. Sosa goes quietly. So does the top of the order for the Cubs. Down in order. The Cards will have Morris, Vini, and Polanco if anybody gets on Edmonds. Good start for Matty Moe and the Cardinals, who lead by 1. Cardinal fans, use your MasterCard credit card and see the Cardinals for less. Go to www.stlcardinals.com or call 314-421-2400 and ask for the MasterCard Grand Slam ticket pack today. And join us out here at the ballpark. Join us tonight immediately after the game for the Midwest Sports Report. In addition to a complete Cardinal postgame wrap-up, we'll look at the latest plan for a new ballpark in St. Louis and reaction from Cardinal fans. And Kevin Slayton sounds off right after the game on Fox Sports Net. Leading it off is Matt Morris, and that's strike 1. Morris is hitting 133 with 2 RBIs. We made more of his hitting prowess when he first came to the big league level. When he sat on the bench in Houston one day and lied to both you and me and said he wasn't a good hitter. And then he got a hit in his first major league start. Trying to drop one down, not a bad idea if you feel like it on a 95-degree night and the count 0-2.
It's one of those types of nights that you try to conserve as much energy as possible, so you wouldn't expect him to drop down a bunt, spend a little extra energy. There's
Set
that,
up at 0-2.
There's that good hitting pitcher.
And a little flare into left center for Gutierrez. One away. Don't forget tomorrow night's time change, or What's on Tap, is brought to you by Budweiser. With a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. This Bud's for you, and the game for you starts tomorrow night. Our coverage at 5:30 with Cardinals tonight. The game begins just after 6. Right here on Fox Sports Net. Cubs and Cardinals, game 3 of the 4-game set. Mike Matthews and Julian Tavares will hook up. Here's Vina, who singled his first time up.
Joe, everybody that resides in Missouri, but particularly in the city of St. Louis, is entitled to their own opinion about the stadium. I know you and I are thrilled to death.
Okay, people think that I'm thrilled because I work for the Cardinals. I'm thrilled because I get a chance to go around, as you have, and see these new ballparks in other cities, and it makes you a little bit jealous that we don't have a new park in our town. The problem is, and it's a great problem, is that this place is beautiful.
Yeah, they've actually taken too good a care of it and put too many band-aids on what the public sees. But what I was going to say is, we'd love to hear some of these comments, because there's going to be some negative ones.
There always is. There always, there always should be. There should always be debate about stuff like that.
But to put them in the can, and then down the road, people move into the new facility and see what it does to the downtown area, and see that you have more services and you have more revenue coming into a city that needs help.
Pena fights it off and fouls it out of play. We talked about it in the opening. To me, St. Louisans should be just as happy about and just as excited about the ballpark village as they should be the stadium. In fact, to me,
that's it.
It's the bigger part of the package, because to get some life in downtown St. Louis, and get some younger people living down here, get this city moving, as you said, into the next century, has been lagging behind a little bit. That's the exciting part to me. 2 out, nobody on. And the batter will be Polanco. Add to that, in 2006, the All-Star game will be here in St. Louis. That was announced today. Well, in 2001, the All-Star game will be in Seattle. Tuesday, July 10th, the 72nd All-Star game, the best of the American League against the best of the National League. This year, baseball's biggest moments unfold here on Fox.
And what people do not understand about the All-Star, it's not a game, it's an event. It is a 5-6 day event with a fan fest, and $100 million plus comes into the city.
Ground ball to short off the bat of Polanco. Inning is over. And now that we've alienated half of our listening audience, we'll press on. 4th inning, 1-0 St. Louis. A 1-0 Cardinal lead as this game goes to the 4th inning. Matt Morris back to work. We look at the artist's renderings of the new ballpark, which will happen now, it appears, in downtown St. Louis. That's from the backside of the ballpark village, looking into the stadium. One of the biggest factors and one of the biggest reasons why that was agreed to, as Coomer fouls it out of play off to the left for strike 1, is it was announced the owners of the St. Louis Cardinals and other private developers will pay 2/3 of the construction costs of the new ballpark and development, and 100% of the cost to maintain and operate the ballpark. A lot more money coming into downtown. Hopefully some more life in downtown St. Louis. And the Cardinal owners are going to kick in 2/3 of the construction costs and 100% of the maintenance costs around the ballpark.
Excited about the aquarium, world-class aquarium that would probably come down here.
I've already offered to clean it every week since I can't do my own in the basement. I am starting some experiment in my basement. I am growing algae, strains of algae that have never seen the light of day, so to speak. In the hole, going to take a great play. Wide throw and safe as Coomer got past the glove of McGuire. So a leadoff base hit. And there's the tying run with nobody out, and Rondell White coming up. Our Aflac trivia question: what was the name of the Cardinals' first ballpark? That's the Aflac trivia question. One on, nobody out, and the red-hot Rondell White is at the plate. 4 out of 5 in this series, and he takes one inside, ball one. 309 is his average. 13 home runs, 35 RBIs. Runner at first, nobody out. Rondell White hits it to third, might be two, should be. Vina in the middle, they got them both. 5-4-3, 2 out, nobody on. Not hit all that hard, but Rondell White just isn't running all that well.
Yeah, he's had the bad knees and stuff like this. I didn't think it was hit hard enough, but look at the good concentration. He fires a low delivery to Vina, but he's so good that he can adjust to anything and quickly gets rid of it. And they got White right before he went to the bag. So a pitcher's best friend.
Here's Miguel Cairo. This pitcher's best friend, or at least one of his best friends, is Rick Ankiel. And the Cardinals have said that they would make the decision as to where Rick will go now that extended spring is over. Odds are it will be at Potomac. In the hole, Renteria, base hit. 2 infield hits in the inning, and Gary Matthews Jr. will get a chance to bat here in the 4th. That's the guy they had bunt his first time up after a leadoff double.
Oh, come on. We don't want them to tie or get the lead.
Okay.
Let them do their strategy, you know. Now he has to swing away, hits it in the hole. Renteria was really playing up the middle. So great effort, but throw off line.
One on, 2 out. Gary Matthews Jr. at the plate. Top of the 4th inning, and the Cardinals up by 1. Matthews struck out his first time with a runner at third, 1 out. That was the only strikeout for Morris, and a big one. This is hit right at Langford, and the inning is over. 2 hits in the inning, a double play ball mixed in. Cubs have stranded 4. It'll be Edmonds, McGuire, Pujols coming up for the Cardinals. Double play turned in the inning, and Morris working well, up by 1. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Auto Tire, the right place for the right tire. By Aflac, without it, no insurance is complete. And by Steak and Shake, famous for our steak burger. Downtown St. Louis, beautiful night. Hi. Happy birthday.
All right.
That-a-way.
What's your name?
Jimmy. No, we don't know his
Birthday boy.
Wearing an Orioles hat. That-a-way, you've made television. Our Aflac trivia question: what was the name of the Cardinals' first ballpark? I don't know. Grand Avenue Grounds, back in the 1800s, 1876 to 1877, on our Aflac trivia answer.
Well, you know, when we had our 100th year anniversary, they said Cardinal baseball, I guess continuous, was 1892. So that was even back then, way back before then.
Here's Edmonds. Struck out his first time, and he takes a ball high from Beret.
You know what field there was before Sportsman's Park?
No.
Robinson Field.
Here's the 1-0. Now it's 2-0 with McGuire on deck. Robinson Field.
Is it Robinson? Well, in honor of Carey and his home run, it's Robinson.
Hey,
Field.
whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
It's still not there.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Edmonds trying to muscle up on that pitch. It's 2-1. I know that the Yankees first played in Hilltop Park. and then shared the polo grounds with the Giants until they got a guy named Ruth, and everybody started showing up to watch the Yankees instead of the Giants, and the Giants said, hey, thanks a lot, goodbye, you're no longer tenants here. Build your own ballpark, and Yankee Stadium was built.
The house that Ruth built.
That's right, literally. 2 balls and a strike. That's well hit down into the right field corner, and we'll watch Edmonds run. Digging it out of the corner is Sosa, and Edmonds cruises into second with a double just ahead of the throw.
That's the swing that we've been missing from Jim Edmonds. He loves the ball up, and there's not a pitch that's too high that he doesn't like. But here's better to see him get the top hand, get on top of a ball and hit it on the line and hit it with authority into the right field corner.
You know, in the end, Al, if the pressure is now on Edmonds, and it squarely is to pick up for Drew, and Edmonds gets it rolling again, imagine where this team will be when Drew comes back and if he can find his swing again. Wow.
Which he will, but you got to give him a little time to get back and track.
Here's McGuire now, runner at second, nobody out. I'm sure Mark is looking for the ground ball to the right side of the field as they ring him up on that pitch, strike one. He's probably just up there to advance the runner, right?
Well, I'm surprised he hadn't bunted yet.
With runners in scoring position, 2 of his 6 home runs.
I mean, the way it sounded like the Cubbies, that's how they win.
Why not?
Right?
Why not? Get the guy over. Cardinals lead 1-0.
I'd rather have him get him in.
Me too. Especially in the early innings.
Especially with a guy that has had pretty good success against Beret. McGuire has 4 home runs and 15 at-bats.
Don't think Beret doesn't know that as he looks back at Edmonds at second. It's McGuire now, it's Pujols to follow, and then Langford. These 3 will try to add to the Cardinal 1-0 4th inning lead. One and one with the flash bulbs popping around the park. Our Hyundai key matchup is obviously the 2 big sluggers. Both went deep last night in the same game. 16 major league seasons compared to Sosa's 13. The home runs, the career numbers for these 2. Runner at second, nobody out. McGuire took ball 2 as it's smothered by Girardi. McGuire thinking about what's to come on 2-1. First base is open. The guy hitting .350 waits on deck. The 2-1. And it doesn't look like Beret is going to give McGuire much to hit.
Well, a lot of times we talk about his kind of Fosh ball, combination changeup splitter is his out pitch. But if you're up there long enough, he'll throw you a pitch you can handle.
That's over but low. The home plate umpire flinched but didn't give it to Beret, and it's the second walk of the night issued by the Chicago right-hander.
Let's go back to the pitch tracks and see this for that one. He kept on throwing the off-speed pitch. There was a fastball, 3 off-speed pitches, 4 off-speed pitches. That was pretty close. Called it ball 4, but 82-mile-an-hour Fosh pitch and didn't get the call.
Here is Albert Pujols. Two on with nobody out. Albert with 62 RBIs, 20 home runs. And a good breaking ball for a strike. 2000 minor league player of the year for the Cardinals. He won that running away. He played most of the year at single A. Ended up playing for AAA Memphis in the postseason. 1-1. I've said it 1,000 times, but nobody could have expected, maybe even Pujols included. In fact, late in spring, he was prepared to go back to the minor leagues. Nobody expected for him to make the club, let alone make a march towards Seattle in the All-Star game coming up in July. 2 on, nobody out. The 1-1 pitch. Whoa, almost leaned right into it. 2-1. Well, you said it before on the RBI double by Langford. This guy might not be fast, but boy, is he a good base runner.
Yeah. Albert Pujols, there was that last pitch, is up and in. Fastball. He was kind of looking for that off-speed pitch away.
And he hits a double play ball to short. Out at second and out at first. That's a crusher. Over at third is Edmonds with 2 out.
Pujols, that's his 12th double play, but he had 11, maybe 6 weeks ago.
So it's been a while since he has done this. Hits the ball sharply, and when you do that and it's at one of the infielders, they're going to have a chance to turn the double play.
So now it's up to Langford, who took a low delivery his first time up and doubled into right center field for the only run of the night. Ray has 33 RBIs, 13 home runs, third highest total on the team, behind Drew and Pujols. Edmonds at third, 2 down, and strike 1.
Back and see that double. We talk about that he's a low ball hitter, particularly the breaking ball, and just unbelievable why you throw this pitch there.
There's another one down and away, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
And to Ray Langford, you just seems like you've just got it. You want to elevate the ball, and when you get the ball down and in the strike zone, in middle half in, you're just doing him a favor.
Runner at third, 2 out. Langford hits the ball the opposite way, and the park will hold it. Rondell White holds it, and the Cardinals, who had 2 on with nobody out, fail to score. A double, a walk, 1 left. Cards have left 2. Cubs have stranded 4, and after 4, behind Morris, they lead the Cubs 1-0.
Played 4 innings in St. Louis, and the Cardinals lead the Cubs 1-0. Hey kids, on Wednesday, June 27th, when the Cardinals play the Cincinnati Reds, it's Merrimack Caverns night at the ballpark. All fans 11 and under with a paid admission receive a coupon good for admission for a cave tour and boat ride courtesy of Merrimack Caverns. That's Wednesday, June 27th, when the Cards battle the Reds.
Battle the Reds, battle the Reds, battle the Reds.
You see that speech by Bob Boone didn't work again in the first inning as Milwaukee scored 5.
Milwaukee leading 6-4 in the 7th inning at Cincinnati. It's the 5th inning here, 1-0 Cardinal lead, and Girardi, strike 1. These 2 pitchers, for the most part, are throwing strikes. Nothing new along that front for Matt Morris. And so, as is about par for the course, we're an hour, 3 minutes into the game in the 5th inning. That doesn't happen by accident. 1 ball, 1 strike. Averaging just under 100 pitches per start. The count 2-1. We would like to wish a very special 53rd winning anniversary to 2 neat people. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We want to wish, Al and I want to wish Jeff and Ophelia Wade a happy 53rd winning anniversary. And that is from their son, Kevin Wade, who does such a tremendous job here at the ballpark for the Cardinals selling tickets. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Vina takes care of Girardi, 1 away. So Kevin is one of our best friends down here, and to Jeff and Ophelia, a happy 53rd. That's fantastic. Coming up after the game, the Midwest Sports Report. In addition to a complete Cardinal post game, we'll look at the latest plan for a new ballpark and reactions from Cardinal fans. Kevin Slayton will also sound off. That's right after the game, right here on Fox Sports Net. Here's Beret, who's 0 for 1, had an RBI chance his first time up and grounded out to third, ball 1.
Kevin asked me to send those wishes along. Hope his mom's feeling much better. And then he also gave me the ticket availability sheet. He doesn't miss a trick, does he?
That's why he's the best. And
4,000 seats for tomorrow's game. Remember the 6:05 change. How about Thursday afternoon? There's 1,000 seats left for the Bank of America checkbook cover day.
here's a 1-1 to Beret. Breaking ball, strike two. I'll tell you, day baseball at this park during the week, we get some of the best crowds all season during the daylight hours during the week. Beret 2-2.
Can you imagine the Cardinals hold on and win this ball game, win tomorrow night behind Matthews? You think that charge line number 314-421-2400 won't be ringing? That's standing room only for Thursday.
STLCardinals.com. Charge line, MasterCard, Visa, Discover, or American Express. 2-2 pitch, Beret to the shortstop, Renteria. 2 up, 2 down.
How about the San Francisco Giants come in over the weekend? 7,000 seats available for the Shane Company Mousepad night. 2,000 for the Ice Mountain Team Poster night.
How are we doing on Sunday night?
Sunday night, 6,000 seats for the Coca-Cola. Oh, that's it. Coca-Cola Target bobblehead night for Matheny.
Tell you what, I was a big hit at home when I brought home the Edmonds bobblehead doll.
Tell you, the Edmonds got a new house in St. Louis. In his library, he was sitting there. He's asked you, and he said, "I need some books or something. Can you give me some fake books?" I said, "How about 6,000 bobbleheads?"
2 out, nobody on. Eric Young, a strike on the inside corner. Fake book.
That's what I said. Can you put some fake books
Like
up there?
paint?
No,
paint
you know,
cardboard,
the ones
like
that just have the cover, but there's nothing inside. But they look good on the wall.
2 out for Eric Young, and time called just prior to the pitch. Some of those old classics, like, you know, Sidney Sheldon. Up the middle, Young is on. He's 1 out of 3.
Talk about Matt Morris just goes right after hitters, and he's going to try and get ahead. Probably the best on the staff of getting ahead or first pitch strike one.
Who's he looking at over there? Eric Young?
I think he's kind of looking at, you know, hey, I throw you a strike. You're not supposed to get a base hit off it. Statistics will show you that more times than not, if the guy does put the ball in play, he's not going to get a hit.
He's smirking over at Eric Young at first base.
You know,
you're not supposed to get a hit off me.
Matt with his little devilish smile, that might be more reading into them.
1 on, 2 out, and Young gets a look. Gutierrez at the plate. Let's go to the tote board. Mike Matheny has thrown out 56% of potential base stealers. In case you're wondering about Young trying to steal. What a good play by Matheny, ball 1. This would be a tough combination to run against. Morris, who gets the ball to the plate in a hurry, and Matheny, who gets it down to second in a hurry.
You know, they really don't run a lot. And the only guy they were going to do it, they tried to overthrow that ball, and look at the blind stab. I mean, that ball was just the way Matheny normally goes after a ball. You wondered if he was crossed up.
On the inside corner. No surprise there, and it's 1-1 on Gutierrez. Pirates trying to win 4 in a row and trying to beat Philadelphia again. They lead at home over the Phillies 7-4 in the 6th. To the shortstop, and Renteria, by charging it, gets the high hop. Good play by Edgar, and the out at first. 6-3 to end the top of the 5th. Bottom of the order coming up for the Cardinals. 1-0 St. Louis. Hey, it's a 1-0 Cardinal lead halfway through this one. The 11th annual Christian Family Day is set for Saturday, July 14th. The Cardinals take on the Tigers at 1:10. This year's featured speaker, Super Bowl MVP Kurt Warner and his wife Brenda, along with Christian contemporary artist Al Denson. For tickets and information, call the Christian Family Day hotline at 636-227-9788. 227-9788. Here's Renteria, and there's ball 1 from Beret. Renteria, Matheny, and Morris. The Cubs in the 6th will have Sosa, Coomer, and White. Edgar 0 for 1, hitting .229. Good. Bender in for strike 1.
You know, Edgar came into this game with some pretty good success against Beret. He was 5 for 8 with a home run.
Strike 2.
One of these days, Edgar's going to turn it on like he did last year. He had a great season last season. Won the Silver Slugger Award, best hitting shortstop in the National League.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Edgar, leading off 2-2. See if the bottom of the order can start trouble for the Cardinals against Beret. That's into right. Sosa going to get it. 1 away. Renneria 0 for 2, and Matheny will bat. Our cameras have found tonight's Fox Sports Net superfans. If you're at one of our televised games, make a banner or sign and include Fox Sports Net in the design. If we pick you, you'll win a t-shirt and a hat. For details, call Fox Sports Net at 314-206-7000. Here's Matheny 0 for 1.
JD fans there, feeling his pain. That's the good news. He's not in a lot of pain, is he?
I feel your pain. A strike on the outside corner. He will be when he gets his tonsils taken out.
Yeah, how about that? Take advantage of this layoff to get his tonsils taken out.
1 ball, 1 strike on Matheny. Mike hitting .211, 3 home runs. Morris to follow. Matheny had a runner on with 2 out, and he flied into center his first time up, and he's in the hole here, 1-2.
Happy birthday to Robin Jackson, the wife of Chuck Jackson. Now happy birthday, and then our condolences being married to Chuck. Chuck is one of our salespersons at Fox Sports. You know Chuck.
2-2. Up in the Fox box. Fun fact about Mike Matheny: favorite food is steak. That's not a surprise. He's a steak and potatoes kind of guy. Did you know that about Mike? 2-2 pitch. There's a hit. Matheny's on with 1 out. That'll give Morris a chance to bunt. Reaching for it, he put a good swing on it for a 1-out single.
Yeah, I knew about that.
What's Tony's favorite food? Do we have that fun fact about the Cards manager? It's not steak.
No, it's not. It's breaking ball right off the end of the bat, just lob serving it out there.
You don't need to answer. You can leave it.
No, I mean, I'm sure Tony's is pasta or something.
Yeah, that's probably what it's called. Not that we're stereotyping, but Tony likes his pasta. 1 on, 1 out. Matt Morris at the plate. And Matheny draws a rare throw over to first. Well, let's see how wild and crazy Tony La Russa wants to get. I am not so sure that Morris is going to bunt.
Absolutely, I'm right with you.
He shows it late. He drops it down foul for strike 1.
Just see how difficult that ball up is to bunt. Early in the count, you don't know whether he's going to bunt or not. Elevate the ball because it's hard. See how he tries to come up? That's why you produce a lot of pop-ups. But if you don't, you know, you never really get the bat in fair territory. It's hard to stay on top of it. You're moving the bat an awful lot.
Oh, almost got away. Coomer hung with it. Morris first showed bunt, then he pulled back, and then he tipped his hand as he started to drop one down as the throw went over to first.
Yeah, but Beret did something else that if you're not sure, if you're a pitcher and you're not sure whether the guy's going to sacrifice or not, you could step off or you can throw to first, and sometimes the batter will give it away.
Breaking ball for a strike, and now Morris is set up at 0-2. Rare is it when you get that pitch, Al, and you know better than I, because the catcher pops up and, well, he hung in there pretty well, and that allowed Beret to get the strike call.
Yeah, what you're talking about is sometimes you'll be in this situation and you know you throw a strike and the umpire called a ball, but yet you can't blame him because he gets screened by the catcher jumping up.
The bunt is foul, and that's a strikeout, and Morris hangs his head as he goes back to the dugout. That's the second strikeout for Beret. National League best at home. The Cubs, who've won 13 straight at home. They were obviously 10-9 before their recent run, and that they will carry into their upcoming series at home against Milwaukee. Then the Dodgers, then the Cardinals. The Cubs are on top by 5 in the NL Central. The Cardinals trying to make up for some bad baseball they played on that most recent road trip. And really, when you go back through the schedule, I said this on the radio, and you and I talked about it after the series in Kansas City, Philadelphia. You can go back to the start of the Philadelphia series at the end of that 10-game winning streak, the 18th of May, and until this homestand, they had not played good baseball. It just hadn't hit. That's to Coomer, backs up on it, still makes the play. Zena's gone, and this game goes to the 6th inning. That means Sosa, Coomer, and White are coming up. Sammy with a chance to tie it when we come back. 1-0. The Cardinals lead. 6th inning already. Cardinal fans, this Sunday it's a night game. 7:05 start with the Giants. It's Coca-Cola Target bobblehead doll night at the ballpark. The first 30,000 fans with paid admission receive a collector's bobblehead doll featuring Rawlings Gold Glove catcher Mike Matheny. Bobblehead doll is courtesy of Target and Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Cardinals, this Sunday. 7:05 at home here against the Giants. Well, don't forget, early part of July 10th to be exact, the 72nd All-Star Game. The best of the American League, Jeter, Martinez, and their pals against the best of the National League, Bonds, Johnson, and their buddies. They'll hook up for the 72nd All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th, right here on Fox. It'll be in Seattle. And this year, baseball's biggest moments unfold on Fox. Here is Sosa. There is ball one, up and in. A 1-0 Cardinal lead on an RBI double by Langford back in the second. That is held up until now. Heart of the order for the Cubs. 1-1 strike from Morris.
Look at the pitch track, Sammy. And after this at bat, and try and do it over his hot and cold zones. We'll see if Morris can hit his spots.
Here's a 1-2 to Sosa leading off in the 6th inning. Breaking ball, got him looking. He thought it was up and in. Sosa is the second strikeout victim for Matt Morris.
Now let's see. Here's the hot zones. The red ones are where they like it. Fastball in, ball one. They got it away, and there's that high breaking ball that he finally got the strike 3 call. A couple of those balls we were coming right in through his zone, but he got fooled with the high breaking ball. But for the most part, he's pitched to the cold spots.
Here's Coomer. There's ball one. The National Spit Tobacco Education Program and its chairman, Joe Garagiola, would like to remind you that smokeless does not mean harmless. Coomer with a 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Matt pitches inside enough to where guys do not feel comfortable diving across the plate. And then if you're looking for that good hard fastball, it's hard to adjust his good down breaking ball.
A 1-1 to Coomer. Hard hit, but right at Langford. 2 out. He almost lost that thing in the lights or with the background. That was a heck of a play. A lot harder than you would imagine, even though it was hit right at him.
Let's revisit the pitching profile for Matt. He's obviously not letting his last outing in the Cubs, where he had a no-hitter for 6 2/3 and then gave up 3 runs with 2 outs. He's following Darryl Kyle's lead. He was brilliant yesterday, and he continues that reputation of pitching inside.
Two out, nobody on, no balls, 1 strike on White. Back up the middle, Rondell White. 5 out of 7 in this series. And a 2-out hit keeps the inning alive for Miguel Cairo.
One more of those good Montreal players that once they get out of there, you hear more and more about it. Bouncer right back up the middle. His momentum carries him to the first base side. He can't make the play, and Matty's surrendered 6 hits. And only one time there's been more than 1 in an inning, and one of those was a race for the double play in the 4th.
1 on, 2 out. Cairo leans back from ball 1 up and in. Our good friend Dr. Craig Reese has little Sammy Reese with him here in the booth tonight, rooting on the Cardinals. You can't lose with fans like that. 1 on, 2 out, 1 ball, no strikes. And the count 2-0, and a visit from Matheny to Morris with Gary Matthews Jr. on deck. Cairo is a guy you have to challenge.
Well, you got to challenge him, and that's why Mike comes right out there right now. You don't want to wait a couple more pitches and put a second man on, so you get on the same page immediately. And that's why you say Matheny's an extension of the coaching staff. You don't have to send out Dave Duncan when you got Mike back there.
So 2-0, and Cairo ought to get something to hammer here. Tying run at first with 2 out in the 6th. Cards will have the heart of their lineup in the bottom of the inning bat. And that's a little too low. It's 3-0, and trouble starts here with 2 out. A base hit by White, and now a 3-0 count on Miguel Cairo. That's a strike. Come back, Miguel.
Starts out with his 2-seam grip. Now, if he throws a breaking ball, he can adjust in his grip, and it's real key not to turn your wrist or to do anything really exaggerating it in his glove. Tip it off.
Now it's full. So this will be a big out to battle back and get with a runner at first, tying run and 2 out, and Matthews on deck.
Well, I just got to think that when Morris gets to 3-2 and battles back, he's going to finish it off.
Cairo, a base hit into left field, and we'll see how Langford plays it. Plays it well to hold Rondell White, the tying run at second. It's 2 on with 2 out. And now a hit by Matthews Jr. or an extra base hit would tie or give the Cubs the lead.
Now there's that bunter. Runs certain ways, 2 for 2. Bunts early. 3-2, and got it on the inner half. Didn't hit it real sharp, but good enough to get that base hit. And now with Matthews up, 7th spot in the order, Dave Duncan's going to maybe even sit there and tackle out the situation. Girardi is behind him.
So the conference on the mound, and Duncan will turn and go back to the dugout. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and is an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Well, here we go. A chance for the Cubs to tie it with a hit. Matthews Jr. has another crack at Morris, and he takes a pitch high. Matthews, his first time up after a double by Rondell White and a sacrifice bunt by Cairo, had the go-ahead run at third with 1 out, and he struck out. He lined out to left his last time, and he could do some big damage here in the 6th inning. Big swing, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And they got it up and in over the hands of a left-handed batter. Matthews has 5 home runs. He's a switch hitter. And 4 of his 5 and 13 of his 18 RBIs have all come when he's batting left-handed.
2 on, 2 out. Matthews hits it right to Vigna. Fernando takes care of Matthews and the Cubs in the 6th. Now the heart of the order. Polanco, Edmonds, Big Mac. If anybody gets on, Pujols. Nice work by Matt Morris. He's been good tonight. Let's get him some breathing room. Cardinals up by 1. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals on Fox Sports Net. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. For tires and complete auto service, all you need is Dobbs. Bottom of the 6th inning, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Cardinals, Polanco, Edmonds, and McGuire, against Beret, who has been outpitched, just barely outpitched to this point, by Matt Morris. Good pitching matchup tonight.
Haven't we seen enough of Beret?
We have. Strike 1.
Time to knock him out. He pitched a whale of a ball game, but he's on the short end of a 1-0 Cardinal lead. He's only allowed 4 hits.
Due up second in the 7th inning, so this is probably it. Here's an 0-1. Up the middle, Gutierrez to his left, struggles with it, and they call him out. 1 away. That was close. That was close. The Cardinals don't argue much. And that's the first out here in the 6th inning.
Mike Fichter, an umpire, a little like a sinking pitch, got in on him a little bit. Nice play by Gutierrez. May not have the best range, but he makes all the plays. Bang, bang play there. Right on the fingertips. Got away from his webbing, but it was able to pick it up with a bare hand and make the play. Look at this. Watch as it gets away. Reaches with a bare hand, picks it up all in one smooth motion, and they say that Polanco's out.
And I agree, looking at it on the replay. Ball 1 to Edmonds, who has struck out and doubled. It's a good thing those guys in the next booth didn't take my bet about a 1-0 game, although we're still only in the 6th inning. A 1-0.
You know what?
Where's that pitch? 2-0.
I'm going to help you.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're gonna get some runs.
I still like my chances.
I do too.
2 balls, no strikes.
Especially since they didn't take it either.
That's right. 1 out, nobody on. Edmonds right back up the middle, and maybe he's getting hot. 1 on, 1 out. Edmonds 2 out of 3, and Mark McGuire will bat with a man aboard, and Beret's happy that thing missed him.
Well, Jimmy is 2 out of 3, and right through the wickets. Boy, he probably is lucky that didn't hit him in the shin or ankle bone. 2 for his last 2 at-bats is Edmonds. And watch him release the ball and kind of a little jump and get out of the way. And he's got to be thankful. Not that he's facing McGuire, but thankful that Edmonds' single didn't hit him.
Big Mac walked his last time up when it looked like Beret pitched around him. Here's a spot where he should come after him. Mark is 0 for 1. And it's 1 on, 1 out. McGuire hit number 6 last night, a 3-run shot. Strike on the inside corner. 560 home runs in McGuire's career. He didn't like that call.
Looked like that was inside. Mark spun away from it. It was that off-speed pitch, that Fosh ball.
I look forward to seeing it on pitch tracks.
I do too.
1 on, 1 out. 1-1.
Fastball away. Girardi called for that same off-speed pitch again, but Beret shook him off. Like Girardi looking into the dugout.
A 1-1 to Big Mac. There's a strike. That's a good pitch. It's 1 and 2.
Yep.
How will Beret and Girardi get McGuire?
Usually a slider out there.
A 1-2. 2-2. Pujols waits to hit next. Edmonds a 1-out single after Polanco had a hit taken away from him by Gutierrez, the shortstop. That might prove to be a big play.
Want to see one of those Fosh balls go 450 feet?
That'd be nice. 2-2 pitch. 2 out.
Sure that if that didn't back up or not, but let's watch the first one. Looks like it's a ball, then back away. That was definitely a ball. 2-0. Then there was the one that was in there. 3-1, comes back with another strike, and this will be the strikeout pitch, or that was it. 83 mile an hour up and in.
Kind of backed up a little bit and made it effective above the hands.
So 1 on 2 out. Here's Albert Pujols. Pujols has walked and scored and grounded into a double play when he had 2 on and nobody out in front of him. Edmonds draws a throw. Right now, Edmonds is not running well at all. For the year, he has stolen 1 and been caught 4 times.
That's where he went back to the bag, didn't look good.
So he gets another chance to do it.
To improve upon it.
The Cubs in the 7th inning will have Girardi. Then Beret is the scheduled hitter. And then back to the top and Eric Young against Matt Morris. Runner at first, 2 out. Pujols with 20 home runs. Oh, what a swing.
You know, Albert said something the other day over the weekend, talking about pitchers he's never seen before. He said, I rarely will swing at the first pitch. And he's faced Beret now. This is his 3rd at bat against him, so he was okay swinging. Got a little more of an idea, but just statements like that from a young player just are so impressive.
I don't know what he has, so I want to take a pitch or two just to see what his ball does when I'm standing in the batter's box.
Well, we've seen him twice. He's walked, he's hit into a double play, and he's set up here at 0-2. So Beret has really pitched well here tonight. The defense helped him at the start of this inning. Gutierrez to his left took a hit away. Edmonds got a base hit up the middle. He's 2 out of 3. And he is the only Cardinal with more than 1 hit. And Edmonds has 2 of the 5 total hits for the Cardinals tonight. Number 5, Albert Pujols. He's 21 years old, looks for home run number 21. And it's 1-2.
That pitch there, after you see a couple balls that are going down and all of a sudden you get a ball elevated up around your eyes, a lot of hitters would have chased.
Well, let's see if he can slam one that's back in the strike zone. Edmonds at first with 2 out. And that's backing out of play. So Pujols waits for another 1-2 pitch. Cardinals start the night 5 games out. Central Division is tightening up as the Brewers start to make a little run here. Milwaukee is leading at Cincinnati 10-4 in the 8th inning. And Milwaukee started the night 7 out. Houston's winning as well. Those 2 teams 7 out. The Cardinals 5 out behind Chicago on the advanced auto parts standings in the National League Central. Let's hope they're even tighter after tonight's game. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Pujols. 1 on, 2 out. And that'll end the inning. Eric Young. Let's go to the 7th. What a job tonight by Jason Beret. And now it's up to Matt Morris to go back and do more of the same. 7th inning, 1-0 St. Louis. 7th inning now, a 1-0 Cardinal lead. If you would like to win Cardinal tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinal home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177, and we wish you luck. Cardinals against the National League Central. Nice record against their own division, and of course this being the first year with an unbalanced schedule reintroduced to Major League Baseball. That's important and will continue to be important the rest of the season. Joe Girardi leads off and gets a base hit. That's a bad start to this inning. Joe Girardi hitting .211. That could start a lot of trouble. It also will keep Beret in the game. That will allow Jason a chance to bunt.
Yeah, that's, I think, is probably the worst part of it, because tough decision. Boy, what a difference between the American League with the DH and not. And it's situations like this, an 8th place hitter gets a base hit, fights that ball off up and in, and now the manager isn't faced with the tough decision of pinch hitting for a pitcher that's been pitching brilliantly but down by a run.
So the tying run at first with nobody out. And time called. You wouldn't think that the Cubs would get cute here, but they might. Beret has 4 hits on the year, and when I say get cute, you expect a bunt, and you will probably get it. Girardi runs rather well for a catcher. On deck is Young and then Gutierrez.
See where Vigna is playing in there.
Wow. Up at the chin of Jason Beret, ball 1. Thank goodness it missed him.
Jason took a little breather, showing bunt, and look at him spin out of the way. Somebody taught him how to do that. Seen a lot of position players that would have been hit by that pitch with not knowing how to spin out of the way, or would just freeze and panic.
Tying run at first, a 1-0 pitch. And the bunt is foul. Talk about an anxious moment. Matheny hoping it would roll foul. One thing Mike does, and we've talked about it before, is at the start of each series in an away ballpark, he knows how the foul lines roll here in St. Louis. He'll roll the ball down each line and see which way it rolls. With that spin, and with a camera work of John Lawrence, you see Matheny praying that ball would go foul. It did for strike 1. Beret's done everything out on the mound, and now they ask him to get the tying run into scoring position.
Sure, a lot of times the execution of a starting pitcher, what he does in the batter's box, determines complete games and several victories during the course of the season.
Check on Girardi at first. Go back to what you're talking about with Vigna. He's in a spot where he can charge. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Vigna's standing almost there in the base path, but with McGuire not being quite as mobile because of the knee, it looks like they were going to have Vigna, the second baseman, charging instead of the first baseman.
And the bunt is hard back to Morris. He slipped, so he can't get the out, and he can't get the one at first. Vigna tried to dive for the bag and get the glove on the bag, and now it's 2 on with nobody out. What a chance for the Cubs here. Morris lost his footing, Al. I think he was frustrated when he couldn't go to second, and then he lost the guy at first.
Yeah, there he kind of slipped. He stretched out. He tried to take that crow hop, but he never got on top of the ball. There's another factor, Joe. Now, what they did, watch McGuire. Does he get in the way of this a little bit? He's bending over and he's getting down there, but still, it's unorthodox to think that you have to throw across or throw over the first baseman.
Oh.
And I thought Vigna got the bag.
Oh.
You know, they said he missed the bag, but I thought he was on the bag, but no argument from the bench or Vigna.
I'll say this, it looked like he got the ball down toward the bag before the foot of Beret got there, and if he hit the bag, he was out.
Yeah. Watch it right there. And I mean, that's obviously the umpire is much closer, but it sure appeared that he got the corner of it.
Sacrifice E1, and now Young drops down a bunt. The only play is to first, out there, and it took a good play to get Eric Young, and it's second and third, 1 out for Gutierrez. Sacrifice good 1-4, and a hit will give the Cubs the lead. So Morris is going to have to do some pitching here with Gutierrez.
Blanco going in there and gets the job done, but not exactly where you would like to bunt the ball. Close play there at first base. Of course, you got Gutierrez and Sosa on deck, so you're not exactly going to walk Gutierrez to bring up Sosa. Matty, you want the win. It's all in your hands.
Second and third, one out. And that'll do the trick. Into deep right center field. Pujols will make the play. The game is tied. Holding at second is Beret. In to score is Girardi, and it's 1-1 in the seventh. So the error plays a big factor in this inning. But if the Cardinals can limit the damage to just one run here in the seventh, I think it would be a little momentum building.
Matty throwing this first pitch there. You can't think of a strikeout. You think of a pop-up, just a fastball that's up. That'll get the ball in the air, but it doesn't get the pop-up. It's the high end of the zone, and he hit it well enough to get the sacrifice fly. Now with first base open, they will intentionally pass Sosa.
Second intentional walk of the night handed out by Morris. And it's a runner at second, 2 out, and it's going to be up to Ron Coomer. They got guys scrambling around down in the dugout there. And it might be Matt Stairs to come off the bench and hit for Coomer. Stairs was a late scratch in their lineup, bothered by sore ribs. They also have Dunwoody down there if they choose to go that way, another left-handed batter, as Steckschulte will get loose here in the seventh. 2 on, 2 out, and Ron Coomer will be the hitter, and we're going to have a pinch runner.
I'm not sure what Dunwoody's going to do. You know what? He's looking for the helmet that the pitcher's got. Is that what it is? That makes as much sense as anything else.
I can't believe that they would lift Beret for a pinch runner here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking we wanted to switch helmets in case Dunwoody got, was going to come to the plate. But he ain't going to come to the plate for White.
I don't know what Dunwoody's doing. He jumped up to the top step of the dugout. He looks like he's getting ready to run. They're going to take Beret out.
Well, thank you very much. We'll take that chance.
They let him hit. Now, fortunately for them, they had Beret reach, but boy, if you're Jason Beret, you've got to think, what in the world? I'm getting lifted for a pinch runner. He's pitching well enough, Al, to stay in this game.
I think it's the Cardinals catch a break by taking him out.
Now, Farnsworth has been throwing the heck out of the ball, and their bullpen has been very good. But of all the ways to leave a game as a pinch runner with 2 out in the inning, this is definitely a little different.
In case you're wondering about Dunwoody's base stealing ability, 0 for 1.
Yeah, he's not all that fast, but he's certainly not out there to steal. He's just out there to run.
They're going to.
Case of a hit as Coomer takes the ball inside.
Got a shot, and I guess they figure that Beret's pitched a great ball game. He's off the hook. He can only win, but it depends on what Ron Coomer and company do from this point forward.
That's the third. It's a foul ball. On top of that, Al, they use one of their batters, a guy who in the game at Wrigley against Morris came up with a big pinch hit double, and one of their left-handed threats off the bench.
Their only left-handed threat.
Well, an interesting move. If Coomer gets a base hit through the infield into the outfield, it'll make Don Baylor look like a genius. 2 on, 2 out. That's foul. A foul ball, and the count 1 and 2, and Coomer came within a foot of putting Chicago on top.
Ball is getting up a little bit, and he hammers. Of course, Don Baylor knows even with a Cardinal sweep, they leave town 2 games up. So he's really just trying to get any kind of win or a split would be mission accomplished. Also trying to get Beret a win, too.
2 on, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Got it. Now Beret is out for the rest of the night. But that good Cub bullpen will go to work, and it'll start with Farnsworth. Good fastball from Morris. An error figures in heavily, and we're tied at 1. A 1-1 game now, bottom of the 7th inning. Cardinal fans on this Friday, the Cardinals play the Giants. It's the Shane Company Mousepad night. The first 25,000 fans, 16 and over with a paid admission, receive a Cardinals mousepad, courtesy of the Shane Company. That's Friday, June 22nd. This Friday, Cardinals and Giants. A guy who can touch the upper 90s on the radar gun and can get it up there in 3 digits, 100 miles per hour, will take over for Jason Beret. Beret ends up going 6, allowing 1 run on only 5 Cardinal hits. He was terrific. Lifted for a pinch runner with 2 out in the top of the 7th. And I guess you can afford to do that if your bullpen, which tonight starts with Farnsworth, is as good as Chicago.
Well, they got a good bullpen. You're right, and this guy's a big part of it. He is 0-1 on the year. He's appearing for the 33rd time. 2.73 ERA. Opponents don't hit a lot against him, and he racks up a lot of strikeouts. 54 strikeouts in 33 innings. Has allowed 4 home runs, including 2 back-to-back by J.D. Drew and Albert Pujols on pitches that were near the triple digit.
No double switch in the inning either, so Farnsworth comes in. Dunwoody is the pinch runner, and that's it. I'm sure Beret is wishing he were back out there and wondering why he was lifted for a pinch runner. Obviously, he doesn't run well. He didn't tag and go to third, and that fly ball to right on the sac fly hit by Gutierrez. And he's not fleet of foot, but Jason Beret was working extremely well. He's gone. If the Cardinals are going to win this game, they're going to do it against the Cub bullpen. The only Cardinal run of the night came back in the 2nd after a walk to Pujols with 1 out. Ray Langford, who will lead it off here, hit a double into right center. Bottom of the 7th, a 1-1 game. Langford, Renteria, and Matheny will bat against Farnsworth.
Let's see if Ray can turn it up a notch or 2. And got a guy like Farnsworth. You got Ray that you almost sit there and say, okay, I don't think he's going to throw me an off-speed pitch, but if he throws me a fastball, I'll be ready for it. Might have to cheat a little bit and get started early.
And he was out in front, pulled it foul off to the right, 94 miles an hour. He'll fluctuate from the low 90s to the upper 90s, and as I said, he'll touch 100 from time to time.
And that's what I think Ray, because of the way he pulled that ball, he was kind of gearing for the fastball and got out in front. Girardi had a little comment with there, may have said, hey, velocity's fine, but elevate it.
So Langford leading it off in a tie game in the 7th. Some of the other action is nearing an end around baseball. Here's an 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Some of the other action includes Atlanta getting pasted at home by Florida after losing last night to the Marlins. 1-2 on Langford. 95 from Farnsworth. Last night Atlanta blew a 5-0 lead. Lost to the Marlins, and tonight the Marlins are beating Atlanta 11-2, while Milwaukee is pounding on Cincinnati 10-4. They're in the 9th inning there.
Tom Glavine with that 5-run lead too.
Langford set up at a ball and 2 strikes. On the outside corner, good pitch, 1 out.
Registered 97 right here, just right on the outside corner.
Kerry Wood finishing off a yawn down in the Cubs dugout. He's been on a great streak. Renteria goes the opposite way. That's easy for Sosa. 2 up, 2 down.
6 in a row for Kerry Wood.
6 in a row. He will not pitch in this series. This week on Thursday Night Baseball, Derek Jeter leads the defending world champion Yankees into Motor City to take on Tony Clark and the Tigers. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on Fox Family. Watch the entire baseball season unfold across the Fox network. Matheny 1 out of 2. He's hit 3 home runs. His last one coming here at home against Cincinnati. His first 2 coming in the first week of the season. 98 from Farnsworth, ball 1. Another good game after the Cardinals and Cubs battled last night. The Cardinals won it 6-2. 98 on the scoreboard. 97 on our gun, and the count 1-1.
Not bad for a 47th round selection, Farnsworth.
I don't think he was throwing 100 back then.
No, I don't think so either. Well, he hadn't grown into that body. He's only 25 years of age, 6'4", 220.
Pops. 2-1. Haven't seen anything but the fastball from Farnsworth.
Joe, when you throw that hard, why do a hitter a favor?
However, as you said earlier, if you can cheat a little bit and get a pitch where you're looking for it, you can do something with it. That's foul and out of play. 2-2. Matt Morris is in the on-deck circle. Cardinals have their bullpen ready if they want to dip into the bullpen.
Steckschulte warming up for the Cardinals. Facero for the Cubs.
Jeff Facero, who started his professional career in the Cardinal organization and never got to the big leagues with St. Louis. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Matheny. And a line drives a base hit into right. Now that brings about a decision for Tony La Russa. And the decision is he's going to leave Morris in the game.
Interesting.
You can see Bonilla or somebody else coming off the bench, but it's Morris. That means that Matt will pitch in the 8th.
Well, he's got 2 outs. So doesn't really fail with Matheny out there. 93 pitches. He's got at least 1 more inning in him.
Ball 1.
Now, what did you want to say about starting early now? Start your swing early and keep your eyes open.
Right, start it right now. And swing. 1-1. So Morris gets the vote of confidence from his manager, and why not? He'll deal with White, Cairo, and Matthews Jr. in the 8th. The Cardinals in the 8th will, at the very worst, start it with the top of their order. So Tony La Russa is giving Matt Morris a chance to win a game over the Cubs. Right now, he, being Morris, should be overmatched by Farnsworth, but crazier things have happened. A high strike, and it's 1-2. Morris, 4 hits on the year. Not bad there on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch. It's still 1-2. Hey, in that game at Wrigley, if you remember, Morris had a good swing and a pitch and hit the ball to the track.
Yep. Well, you got a guy that throws as hard as Farnsworth. You don't. All you have to do is center the bat on ball, and his velocity will supply. Now it looks like they aren't sure about Farnsworth, that he hurt himself, as the trainer and Baylor are running out there.
Farnsworth isn't sending him back either.
I think he's saying he's okay. There you see Facero in the bullpen, but
you can see him trying to shake out that right hand after that last pitch. So he has convinced Don Baylor and their trainer that he's all right.
So you could see a lot of things with Farnsworth and project Steck Schulte, say another year down the road, holds a split finger grip, and then he'll go to his fastball.
He almost hit Morris on the leg.
He did throw it.
2-2. Morris trying to gear up for an upper 90s fastball. 1 on, 2 out, tie game, 7th inning. Now it's ball 3, and it gets awfully interesting with Vigna on deck and Pissarro ready in the bullpen. This is probably Farnsworth's last hitter one way or the other. Either he ends the 7th inning or we press on. Runner goes, ground ball up the middle, diving play by Gutierrez, safe at first. The throw into the dugout. Going to third is Matheny. Down to second will go Morris, and it's second and third, 2 out on a base hit by Matt Morris. Crazier things have indeed happened.
Oh, you make a great play to stop it in the infield, and then you try to do something sensational, and you complicate. Boy, that little tailing action inside. Here's the great play. But now, put it in your pocket, not in the Cardinals dugout.
And that's it for Farnsworth.
Right here, he does a great job. Same play he made earlier, but here from his backside and falling backwards, he throws the ball off balance, elevates it, and commits the error into the Cardinal dugout. So now it's runners at second and third. Pissarro will come in. He's been awful good, but Farnsworth put him into a tough spot.
Now it's second and third, 2 out. Pissarro coming in to face Vigna with a chance to put the Cardinals out in front. Well, tonight, for every home run hit, money will be donated to CapCure to help prostate cancer research. You can help by calling 1-800-547-CURE. 100% of your donations will go to CapCure's prostate cancer research. So far, look at that total. $5,320,000 has been raised. Help find a cure for prostate cancer by making your pledge today. And their motto is keep dad in the game. When we went away for a break, Tony La Russa was out discussing with John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, the play at second base. The rule is you get the base you're going to +1, and I think Tony La Russa was getting clarification as to whether Matheny should be awarded home plate. If Matheny rounds the bag and starts heading for third, you could make a strong case that he should score when the throw went into the dugout.
Yeah, really weird why he didn't step on the bag. There's 2 outs, step on the bag and head towards third, because he would have been 3 or 4 steps beyond.
Here's Vigna, not much of a swing against Jeff Pissarro. Jeff has had a tremendous start to his career with the Cubs.
Absolutely, 39th game, but remember when Flash Gordon, their closer, was out, he picked up a bunch of save opportunities, and I think he probably single-handedly convinced the Cubs that their bullpen was good enough. He's done a great job, and now he's sort of a dual closer.
A bunt to the first base side. Base hit, Cardinals lead. What a play by Vigna, 2-1.
That's when you bunt, Joe. Boy, anytime Vigna wants to take a shot and drop down a bunt, I think he has a wealth of knowledge and a pretty good understanding what's going on. I applaud him every time he does it. But what a cool play right now. Runners at second and third, 2 outs. You got Coomer has been playing a lot of third base. He's playing at first base. And right here, the perfect delivery. Pizza Hut comes through right here, far enough by the pitcher, far enough away from the first base bag, and Pissarro was late in covering. Watch a pitcher. A lot of times they're going to fall to the one side, but boy, he picks the spot. He has to bunt it far enough away from the first base bag, and he's beyond the pitcher, and the Cardinals steal a run.
Almost beyond the batter's box when he bunted that ball. It's the Pizza Hut perfect delivery. Look where Vigna is. We can see it on this angle of the replay. How far up and out as he got it. Next step, he's out of the box. First and third, 2 out. Polanco with a pitch that's saved by Girardi. Ball 1. The Cardinals have regained the lead. And who's in the middle of this inning? Matt Morris.
Matt Morris. Let him go ahead and hit for himself after Matheny's base hit. 2 outs, and he gets not only a key base hit up the middle, but helped create the environment for the Gutierrez error to set up the second run.
What a big error that is now, as it leads directly to the run. And the count 1-1 on Polanco. Relief appearances in the National League. This is updated. Pissarro 2 in front of Klein. Graham Lloyd. What do these three have in common?
Left-handed.
First and third, 2 out. Their innings pitched would not be up among the league leaders, but their appearances are. See if Polanco can deliver another 2-out RBI hit. A big run sitting at third. That is a hit. In to score is Morris, and the Cardinals have their biggest lead of the night. Polanco delivers. It's 3-1.
Every day he's going to do something that you get a smile on our faces. He's so good, and maybe the best news is get Matt Morris to sit down and take a breather for a minute. And guess what? Now you bring up Edmonds. There he is. He's a contact guy. He's not going to hit a lot of extra base hits, but most of the time his hits just sustain rallies or get things started.
So now Edmonds with 2 on, 2 out. Cardinals lead 3-1. We're in the 7th inning. First and second, 2 away. Edmonds, strike 1. Trying to jump on the first pitch from Pissarro. The Pennzoil protection play. How about a little protection on the scoreboard? A base hit into left field with 2 out, off the hands into the grass in left center to give the Cardinals a 3-1 lead. That's outside, 1-1.
Joe, you know, we talk about how Vigna, you pitch him inside, he'll let it hit you. You pitch him away, he goes to left. So much like with Polanco, you pitch him away, he could go to right. He can use his hands to go to right field, inside out stroke. By that time, he dropped the bat head and hit the ball to left.
Here's Edmonds with 2 on, 2 out, and a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch coming his way. 2-1 with Big Mac on deck.
You know, Pissarro comes in here and Vigna does that little magical trick. You're a little late covering the bag at first base. Well, you can't put your head down and complicate things.
First and second, 2 out, and a 2-1 pitch. That'll keep Edmonds at the plate, 2-2. Pissarro has kept the ball away from Edmonds with every pitch during this at bat. And you can see Jim trying to stretch out that right shoulder.
Yeah, you know, you got a little shoulder problem. Probably one of the toughest things to do is to reach for a ball away. And if you see the blue numbers out away from him, that's a cold zone anyway.
2 on, 2 out. Good speed on. 2-2 pitch. Threw his bat at the ball and fouled it.
Usually a hitter that's going really good can do that. Out away from breaking ball and just gets a piece of it. And it also got a piece of Girardi's bare hand. That's bat control.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. We understand there's some light hail out in West County that's on its way here. Supposed to be here within a half hour.
I told you don't make those weathermen mad.
I told you. 3-1 the Cardinals on top in the 7th. That's too far outside. On deck is McGuire.
So we've talked about in the past, 2 outs, 2 strikes on a batter. That runner at second base can just get a phenomenal lead. He can almost be an umpire.
Runners will go. 3-2 pitch, and we'll do it again. Edmonds reaching for it. Everything has been away from Jeff Lucero.
And you got the runner at first base. He got everybody playing so far back. These guys can get tremendous jumps. You just have to make sure that the pitcher goes to the plate.
Runners at first and second. They'll take off. Edmonds waits for a 3-2 pitch. Into center field. Edmonds hit it one-handed, and Matthews comes to get it in the inning. 2 runs on 4 hits. A hit by Morris extended the inning. Vigna with a bunt single to give the Cardinals the lead. Polanco with insurance. It's 3-1 after 7. Now it's the top of the 8th inning, and the Cardinals try to protect a 2-run lead. It's their biggest lead of the night. Fernando Vigna as responsible as anybody for that 2-run lead. And now Steckschulte comes out of the bullpen. I don't think there's any doubt, Al, that Tony La Russa wanted Matt Morris to go back to the mound. That's why he let him hit. He didn't let him hit thinking that Morris was going to get a hit off Farnsworth. But once Morris started flying around those bases, you have to take the conditions into consideration, and we'll see how Steckschulte does coming fresh out of the bullpen. But not too unlike the move made by the Cubs where they let the pitcher hit, and in this case run the bases. But Morris has had enough with a 92 pitch night.
It didn't look like he was too winded or gassed right there, so you bring in a healthy guy. They wanted to give Steckschulte a couple days off. He'd been giving up the long ball the last few times out, and so he's had a day or so, a couple days off, and he's ready to go now.
And he misses up and in with ball 1 to Rondell White. It'll be White, then Cairo, then Matthews Jr. Anybody gets on, Girardi is the scheduled hitter. 3-1 the Cardinals lead in the 8th inning, and it's up to the bullpen to maintain the 1-0. In for a strike. Cardinals have Klein getting ready in the bullpen in case Mr. Stairs pops up out of that dugout. He is the other left-handed bat that Don Baylor has available. 1-1. That's a little flare. If it's fair, it's a hit. It is foul. That's strike 2.
Originally I had Stairs in the lineup, but not on the bench. Stairs was a late scratch with some rib cage problems.
Say this though, because they pinch ran with Dunwoody, and it's easy to say now, it certainly makes the strategy in the late innings as far as matchups go awfully easy. They've got one left-handed threat that you know can come off the bench, and that's Stairs, and that's why Klein's getting loose.
Ojeda is a little switch hitter.
Here's a 1-2, and White does a good job of spoiling that pitch. Steckschulte setting up, and it'll be interesting, Al, to see what goes on in the 9th inning, and that's way out in front of us. Beers has had 3 innings in the last 2 days. Goodbye, 1 out.
Well, that's the best way.
I think to this point, Al, play of the game brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Al, not only the hit by Morris, but as you said, put it in your pocket. The error led to the bunt attempt by Vigna, which scored the go-ahead run.
Yeah, pretty tough when Matty makes our Bud Light play of the game when he goes 7 innings, 1 run, unearned run. And yet he does it when he's in the batter's box. But nice going, Matty.
Cairo, 1-1. Cairo 2 for 2, plus a sacrifice bunt way back in the 2nd, and he's 3 for 3.
He wasn't supposed to start today.
How often does that happen? And now Gary Matthews Jr. will stand in, the tying run at the plate.
You can see them bring in Klein right now.
for Matthews. He's a switch hitter, but he's only a 161 from the right side. One of his 5 home runs from the right side, and only 5 of his 18 RBIs when he's batting right-handed.
And I think that may happen. Mike Matheny is going to go out and talk, and they're not even going to wait for Matheny to go out there and drum up a phony conversation. That'll do it. The hit by Cairo. The Cardinals are going to use all their weapons tonight, and they'll turn Matthews Jr. around.
Well, you got those lefties out there. You got to use them, and Steve Klein has been a workhorse, and Tony has just as much confidence in Christensen after Klein if you need to go to the righty.
So for Steck Schulte, a third of an inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Now it's Klein. Tying run will be at the plate. Matthews Jr. is the scheduled hitter with Girardi to follow. The Cardinals lead by 2 in the 8th.
Well, Steve Klein comes in here in the 8th inning with 1 out and a runner at first base, trying to protect a 3-1 lead. Both clubs have 9 hits. Both of them have an error, but Gutierrez's error last inning was significant. Appearing for the 38th time, one of the tops in the league. 1-1 record, 1.47 ERA, 2 saves. Opponents only batting 190 against him. See, only 20 hits in 30-plus innings. 1 home run allowed. That was to a right-handed batter. 11 walks, 19 strikeouts, and Steve Klein has not allowed a run in his last 12 1/3 innings. He's held left-handed batters to a 109 average. Now you see, he moved up a notch as Passero and Steve Klein have both made appearances in this game here today. Gary Matthews, a switch hitter, will bat from his weak side. That's why they brought in Steve Klein. He'll bat right-handed.
1 on, 1 out. 8th inning, 3-1. The Cardinals are out in front. And strike 1.
How sweet would a double play look?
Very sweet. Relief ERA. Klein just behind Felix Rodriguez, one of the most underrated setup relievers in the game. He's with the Giants, and he sets up Rob Nett. Behind every man is a good woman, they say. Behind every good closer is a good setup guy. And this is the Cardinals' left-handed version of that. Timlin has been great from the right side. The 0-1. 1-1 from Klein. Tying run at the plate. Hits are even at 9 apiece. Each side has an error, and the error figured into the scoring in each half of the 7th inning. Runner at first, 1 out, 1 ball, 1 strike. And strike 2. Matthews does not agree.
So we have really enjoyed Steve Klein, but if you ever want to make him mad, you know how to do it?
Take his hat.
Take his hat.
Look at that thing. He's only been a Cardinal for 69 games. Here's the 1-2. And that gets away. But evidently, yep, that strikeout makes it 2 out. It looked like for a moment Matthews may have gotten a piece of it. First base occupied. So Matthews is out because the ball didn't go far enough away. Cairo remains at first.
Good breaking ball. He swings over the top of it, gets away from Matheny. You see him check Cairo. And they're going to let Klein stay in to face Girardi.
One on, 2 out. Tying run at the plate. Strike 1 on Girardi. Up to the top of the screen in the Fox box. First job, a pig farmer. He filled out the questionnaire. There's been no background or fact checking involved whatsoever. 1 on, 2 out. Good fastball. He's hitting 91 on our radar gun, 92 on the gun here at the park.
Yeah. I love it when Steve Klein told me, I said, yeah, you look like you lost some weight. He says, yeah, I lost 40 pounds this winter. But don't worry about it. With my bad eating habits and all the late night room service, he said, I'll gain it back.
The 0-2 should end the inning. In the hole, Renteria, inning over. Good work by the Cardinal bullpen. Steck, Schulte, and Klein continues his terrific work. Hermanson has a win on this homestand. Klein continues to do his job. How good does that trade look? This portion of Cardinal baseball on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, celebrating 30 years of freedom. 30 years, one mission, low fares. By Advanced Auto, the best part is our people. And by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse, improving home improvement. Well, we hope that the bad weather will stay away long enough to let us finish this game. One more full inning to go, the bottom of the 8th, and hopefully only the top of the 9th. Cardinals will have McGuire, Pujols, and Langford against the new right-hander, Courtney Duncan, who has been a nice surprise in the Cubs bullpen.
Yeah, he really has. He's appearing for the 25th time, 3.2 record, 3.23 ERA. Opponents are only batting 162 off him, so you know he's walked a few, 20 and 30-plus innings. Very few hits. He was with the club on opening day. That was sent down when they brought up Flash Gordon, but then returned again.
McGuire hitless on the night, 0 for 2 with a walk. Dave Beers is getting ready to pitch in the top of the 9th. They worked 2 innings on Sunday. 1 inning here last night, even though it was not a save situation. Here's McGuire, and there's a ball up and in. The 1-0. McGuire has 6 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a whole lot of grimacing anymore with that right knee after he takes a swing or after he runs or moves around at first. Now 1-1. 2-1.
Duncan's got to have a little movement on his pitches because it's really not, doesn't seem like he throws exceptionally hard, but people don't get a lot of hits off him.
Good breaking ball. At least good enough for strike 2, and McGuire was surprised by it. 2-2.
Yeah, I think that's it more, Joe. He's surprised by it a little bit because he had a little more of a background on Duncan. I think that's a pitch that he would at least take a whack at.
Here's a 2-2 now to McGuire leading off. Chased it. Hitless tonight is McGuire. 1 away.
Let's see where McGuire likes it. That's the red area. First pitch is up out of the plate. There he had a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, is down. Then outside again. There's a breaking ball that's in, kind of hanging up there. And then that's eventually the yellow one was the one he chased at, way out of the strike zone.
Here's Pujols. 0 for 2. Strike 1.
Both McGuire then Pujols right there. They little flex in the front side when they're getting fooled on that first breaking ball they see.
Into center field, and Matthews will come and get it. Pujols ends the night hitless. And Langford will bat. Tony La Russa quoted in the paper today talking about Ray needing to put the bat on the ball more, and Ray knows that better than anybody. Strikeouts starting to pile up, but he has an RBI double in this game, and they'll try to get something going here with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th. Meanwhile, the Cubs need to have a base runner, not only to have a chance in the 9th inning, but also to bring Sosa to the plate. Plenty of drama left in this one. Langford with 2 out, nobody on, takes a ball. It'll be a pinch hitter. Then Young and Gutierrez. Here's a 1-0. 2-0.
saying that Sosa bats fourth.
Right.
I said no, he bats third tomorrow.
Here's the 2-0. A high strike, 2-1. That's one way to look at it.
Hopefully.
Change in that starting time, remember, it's just after 6, and we'll be on the air with Cardinals tonight at 5:30. Dan McLaughlin, Al Raboski, Mike Shannon, and who knows who will pop up on that show. Here's a 2-1 to Langford. He's hit 13 home runs. He was looking for 14, and instead he found strike 2. Scheduled to be Mike Shannon and Ron Santo, longtime third baseman for the Cubs. Here's a 2-2. Langford's gone. So are the Cardinals in the 8th, and that sets up the 9th inning. Will Sammy Sosa bat 4th in the upcoming 9th, or as Al said, 3rd tomorrow night? We're about to find out. Cardinal Baseball on Fox Sports Net was brought to you by Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. We all make a difference. Back at Busch Stadium before a crowd of over 40,000. The Cardinals lead by 2, 9th inning, and making a difference this season has been Dave Beers, as he did last year. No record, an ERA of 2.12, 9 saves, and he'll try to get number 10 and save it for Matt Morris, who certainly deserves a win here tonight. And the Cardinals deserve a win for the way they scrapped out a couple of runs in the 7th.
33 strikeouts in 29 plus innings. 9 for 9 in save opportunities. Trying to get number 10 right here. 2-run cushion to work with.
Augie Ojeda will lead it off. Coming up immediately after the game, join us for the Midwest Sports Report. In addition to a complete Cards post game, we'll look at the latest plan for a new ballpark and reactions from Cardinal fans. Kevin Slayton sounds off, and we talk about Lauren Woods. Is he out of the woods? That's right after the game on Fox Sports Net. That'll be with Rob and Rob. King and Nicoleski, or Nicoleski and King. Buck and Raboski, or Raboski and Buck. Beers and Ojeda to start the 9th inning before a crowd of 40,715. And most are still here. In on the corners of the infield as Ojeda takes a strike. Mentioned a lot of work lately for Dave Beers, and we'll see how he gets along here tonight. Ojeda batting for Duncan, who pitched a perfect 8th with 2 strikeouts. Ojeda has only 15 hits, but one of them, Al, was a big one to set up Sammy Sosa for the game's tying hit in that last game at Wrigley Field, which spelled the end of the afternoon for Matt Morris. First and third, they are in on the corners of the defense, and Ojeda's set up at 1 and 2.
This is his first pinch hitting appearance of the year, and in his career, Dave Beers is facing a guy that's 3 for 15. 1 home run, 2 RBIs.
A 1-2. That'll get out of play. Fork ball, foul ball.
Well, we talk about how that fork ball is a touch and feel type pitch, so that is something when you get a lot of work, you usually have a pretty good release point on it. And I think Dave has used his fastball a lot this year to build up his arm strength.
Ojeda's gone, 1 out, and that's a good start with a 2-run lead.
Well, when you throw the fastball early in the year, and then when you get a lot of work, then you have that feel for your split finger pitch, and you get a lot of guys to chase it.
No doubt he went around. He didn't think so. Eric Young, the on-deck hitter, looked back in the dugout for some help. Don Baylor not happy, and here is Eric Young. 1 out, nobody on. Baylor wants to yell something at the home plate umpire. He just can't think what.
And stay in the game.
A bunt. Foul. Don Baylor is one of the most intense guys yet one of the most pleasant guys to be around, and I really found him, Al, to be a treat when he was the Cardinal hitting instructor. And boy, did he do a good job with Galarraga and others when he was here, and he took a lot of that expertise to Colorado and did a terrific job with the Rockies.
Well, Don Baylor is a man's man. There's no doubt about it. Attendance 40,715.
That's
Thank
easy.
you.
That's 2 out. And it's up to Gutierrez to bring Sosa to the plate to represent the tying run. Will it be 4th tonight or 3rd tomorrow?
Well, because he is the scheduled 4th hitter here, and we've got 2 outs, it's all up to Gutierrez to determine that.
Will it be a 4-game lead at the end of the night or a 6-game lead? Will the Cardinals take the first 2 and win their 5th in a row? Midwest Sports Report coming up next. And how long? That's the question. Ball 1 to Gutierrez. You don't hear that called very often by a play-by-play announcer. Yeah. 1-0. Gutierrez with 2 out, nobody on. See how dramatic Ricky Gutierrez wants to make the end of the night.
Well, see right there, they're taking pitches. So Veers throwing fastballs to try and get that hit. So 1-1 pitch, he's going to throw another fastball.
Into right center field. Edmonds, can he get there? No. This ball up against the wall. It's a double. Forget the double. All that means is Sosa bats here in the 9th inning with a chance to tie it. It is never easy. And Dave Duncan's going to walk out and talk to Dave Veers. First base is open, but I'd have a tough time putting the tying run on base.
Well, I wonder too, though, if they were, if he liked that 3 straight fastballs. 1-1 pitch, missed with the first fastball. Then he came with another fastball he was taking, and then he throws the 3rd fastball out away from him, and he's a pretty good hitter. Up against the Bank of America sign, and first base is open. So,
but if you put Sosa on, Coomer can put the Cubs on top with 1 swing against Dave Veers in his career.
1 for 12.
That's another reason why you pitch to him.
But you cannot let him beat you.
He can't beat you.
Well, you can't let him tie this game either.
Runner at second, 2 out. I'll tell you who's sweating harder now than anybody in the park. That's Matt Morris, watching the rest of this one helpless, can't do anything about it, and it's up to his friend Veers trying to end it.
I think I'm still correct. I think he's going to bat 3rd tomorrow.
Yeah, you were right. But he is batting 4th tonight in the 9th inning. Tying run for the Cubs. A 1-0. Oh. 2-0.
Ball up out over the plate, and he lays off it. You almost got to think that he's got to, anytime he sees a fastball, he's going to want to go to Hackett. But that was good on Sammy's part to lay off.
But after a 2-0 forkball. I mean, I agree with you. You can't let Sosa pound one out of the park. But I'd like to see Veers come after him, and that's the trajectory of it.
Yeah, but that's what I want to see him throw to him, too.
Sosa can tie it with 1 swing. Ground ball base hit. The tying run will be on. Gutierrez will score. Sosa is kept in the ballpark, and now it's the tying run at first with 2 out, and Coomer could put the Cubs on top with 1 swing. But considering the alternative, he'll take it.
Absolutely. Beats the shift. This happens occasionally in McGuire. He'll shoot one to the right side to see where Pena, the second baseman, right behind the bag. Would have been a routine little ground ball if you don't have the shift on, but defensive charts will say more times than not he's going to hit one up the middle and not where the second baseman normally plays.
One thing you have to take into consideration, though, in that case, is you're not throwing him a pitch to hit.
That's a very good point, Joe.
So if you're going to work
point.
him off the outside corner of the plate, maybe your defensive chart should change a little bit.
Yep. It's that is a point to think about.
1 on, 2 out. Now Coomer could put the Cubs on top. That's caught. Game over. Polanco near the line. A lunge, a catch, and a win. 3-2. It didn't come without theatrics and drama in the 9th inning, but it feels good nonetheless.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. You know, you got two very good ball clubs, one in first place, the other one chasing them, and you want it to go down to the very last swing, the last play of the game. That ball gets by, we've got a time score, but Polanco comes through again.
No surprise there. Midwest Sports Report coming up. Back at you tomorrow night with Game 3 of this set.